जय राधा कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन जामुनतीरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन जामुनतीरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन नंदन जामुनतीरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी माधव कुंज बिहारी जयं विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतस श्री श्रीमद् शिलभै चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शील प्रभुपाद की श्रीमद् भागवतम महापुराणम की समवेत गौर भक्तवृंद की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. वंदे गुरुन् ईशभक्तान् ईशं ईशवतारकान् तत्प्रकाशांश्च तत्शक्ति कृष्णचैतन्यसंज्ञकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलम् श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। सर्वशास्त्राब्धिपीयूष सर्ववेदैकसत्फल सर्वसिद्धान्तरत्नाढ्य सर्वलोकैकदृक्प्रद सर्वभागवत प्राण श्रीमद्भागवत प्रभु कलिध्वान्तोदितादित्य श्रीकृष्ण परिवर्तित परमानन्दपाठाय प्रेमवर्षाक्षरायते सर्वदा सर्वसेव्याय श्रीकृष्णाय नमस्तु मे। मदेकबन्धुमत्सङ्गीन् मद्गुरो मन्महाधन मन्निस्तारकमद्भाग्य मदानन्दनमस्तु ते। असाधु साधुतादायिन् अतिनीचोचतारक हानमञ्च कदाचिन्मां प्रेम्णारित्कण्ठय स्फुरः। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Hare Krishna. So today we are reading from Canto 1, Chapter 15. The Pandavas retire timely. text number 37 on the board. So please repeat after me. Yudhiṣṭhirastat parisarpaṇaṁ budhaḥ pure ca rāṣṭre ca gṛhe tathātmani vibhāvya lobhānṛta-jihma-hiṁsanādy adharma-cakraṁ gamanāya paryadhāt yudhiṣṭhirastat parisarpaṇaṁ budhaḥ pure ca rāṣṭre ca gṛhe tathātmani vibhāvya lobhānṛta-jihma-hiṁsanādy adharma-cakraṁ gamanāya paryadhāt yudhiṣṭhirastat parisarpaṇaṁ budhaḥ pure ca rāṣṭre ca gṛhe tathātmani vibhāvya lobhānṛta-jihma-hiṁsanādy adharma-cakraṁ gamanāya paryadhāt Mataji's. Hare Krishna. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Yudhiṣṭhiraḥ Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira tat that parisarpaṇaṁ expansion budhaḥ thoroughly experienced pure in the capital cha age also rāṣṭre in the state cha and gṛhe at home tathā age also ātmani in person vibhāvya observing lobha avarice anṛta untruth jihma diplomacy hiṁsana-ādi violence envy adharma irreligion cakram a vicious circle gamanāya for departure paryadhāt dressed himself accordingly. Translation. Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira was intelligent enough to understand the influence of the age of Kali, characterized by increasing avarice, falsehood, cheating, and violence throughout the capital, state, home, and among individuals. So, he wisely prepared himself to leave home and he dressed accordingly. Purport. The present age is influenced by the specific qualities of Kali. Since the days of battle of Kurukshetra about 5,000 years ago, the influence of the age of Kali began manifesting, and from authentic scriptures it is learned that the age of Kali is still to run on for 427,000 years. The symptoms of the Kali Yuga, as mentioned above, namely avarice, falsehood, diplomacy, cheating, nepotism, violence, and all such things are already in vogue, and no one can imagine what is going to happen gradually with further increase of the influence of Kali till the day of annihilation. We have already come to know that the influence of the age of Kali is meant for godless, so-called civilized men, those who are under the protection of the Lord have nothing to fear from this horrible age. Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira was a great devotee of the Lord, and there was no necessity of his being afraid of the age of Kali, but he preferred to retire from active household life and prepare himself to go back home, back to Godhead. The Pandavas are eternal companions of the Lord, and therefore they are more interested in the company of the Lord than anything else. Besides that, being an ideal king, Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira wanted to retire just to set an example for others. As soon as there is some young fellow to look after the household affairs, one should at once retire from family life to uplift oneself to spiritual realization. One should not rot in the dark well of household life till one is dragged out by the will of Yamaraj. Modern politicians should take lessons from Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira about voluntary retirement from active life and should make room for the younger generation. Also, retired old gentlemen should take lessons from him and leave home for perpetual realization before forcibly dragged away to meet death. Very, very instructive and insightful purport given by His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. This means a lot for the practitioners of Krishna consciousness who are desirous of attaining the ultimate goal of their life, maybe after death, if not in this body. So, in this section, we are discussing the state of Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira. Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira is the ideal king who was installed in the position by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When we read such episode in Srimad Bhagavatam, we should always look into what is in it for me. How can I get something for my personal spiritual upliftment? So in purporting to this verse, Srila Prabhupada has taken two different angles. One angle is to teach the common people how was the approach of Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira, and the second, as a sincere devotee of the Lord, how did he took into himself in his personal life. So that means one is personal application, another one is preaching application, teaching application, or you can say also. So, on the basis of personal application and teaching application, Srila Prabhupada has given purport to this verse. So, here it is said, yudhiṣṭhiras tat parisarpaṇaṁ budhaḥ pure ca rāṣṭre ca gṛhe tathātmani vibhāvya lobhānṛta-jihma-hiṁsanādy adharma-cakraṁ gamanāya paryadhāt. Yudhiṣṭhira Maharaj, being a perfect devotee of the Lord, he could very clearly see the qualities of Kali manifesting in his country. And what are the different places this Kali's qualities became manifest? So, pure ca rāṣṭre ca gṛhe tathātmani. He could see the qualities become manifest in different houses, homes, and even in country, in the capital, state, even in individuals. So when a devotee of the Lord, he sees the influence of Kali spreading in all directions, what does he do? This is where you can see what did Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira do. Oh, what did he do? Gamanāya paryadhāt. he prepared himself to relinquish his engagement in administrating the country. Rather, he just dressed up himself accordingly, which is going to help him to enter into the renounced order of life. And he left, actually, home. So the question can be asked that, well, directly speaking, Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira, he could see the influence of Kali is increasing. Now it has started to manifest in different even individuals, states, country, everywhere. There is an influence. So he was running away from his responsibility. That's why he just, renounced everything. It looks like, right? Then the question can be asked, being a devotee of the Lord, why are you afraid of the influence of Kali? Oh, was he afraid of the Kali? That's why he was relinquishing his responsibility? Or he was running away from his responsibility? No. Okay, he is saying no. Then why did he do that? What is the cause behind? What he wanted to achieve? Pure bhakti he wanted to achieve. Was he afraid of Kali? No. Then any other thing you can imagine, you can think of? That why he had to leave? To attain bhakti, okay? That's good? Yes? Okay. So, these are good points. Okay.
I'm thinking maybe he left just to show an example. Personally, he didn't have a problem with Kali Yuga and he didn't have to go away from anything. But he's in the role of a king, so he's got the duty to show an example to the people who are submitted.
Good.
So maybe he did it.
Okay, you are right. You are speaking in the line of Prabhupada. He is also making the same point that to teach the common people, he was not afraid of Kali. So now the question is, he was not afraid of Kali. So what stimulated this desire in him to leave home? Once again, can you think of?
Well, his duty.
His duty.
His duty is dharma. His duty.
Very good. Thank you. No, that's good. So this is that's what you see. You are speaking from the perspective of preaching application or teaching application as a duty. He is doing that. Can you think of some reason behind his being stimulated to personally? What could be his personal reason? Yes, for giving up this responsibility. 1 minute. Anybody else? Yes, Prabhu? Yes? Feeling separation from Krishna? Okay, good, nice. Okay, I don't mean to make an interactive class, but just question came up there, so I was just taking some comments. Yes, you want to say something?
Yeah, I'm thinking he's also in the role of an ordinary man to other people.
Yeah.
So also for him, he needs to detach from his people, from his subjects. So he's acting like a man, and so he also feels like he also needs to detach from everything. I think personally it's because he's feeling also that need, because at that time he's embodied like a normal man. So he must have that aspect also, I think.
Yeah, good. No, you all are thinking in the same line. Good, nice. But the point is here, the main reason was he wanted to come near the Lord for himself. A devotee, when he sees how everything is at random and creating so much of disturbance, sometimes he becomes, okay, enough. My dear Lord, just take me unto your lotus feet. Give me a shelter unto your lotus feet. So, Siddhar Swami, he explains, see, Yudhiṣṭhira iti atra tasya tyage kali parisarpaṇaṁ uddipanam matram. It just acted like a stimulus point to help him renounce, but actually the main cause is he wanted to bring himself near the Lord. He wanted to come near the Lord. That's it, for himself. And in the meantime, of course, external reason you can also explain from the preaching perspective that as an ideal king, he need to teach the people. That's what Prabhupada says. Not that the leader has to hang on to his position for rest of his life. So now the question can be asked, okay, many times in Krishna consciousness movement, everybody is thinking about preaching. Yes, that's good. Lot of preaching happening. What about personal application? Now the question is, what made Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira to come to this point where he was feeling, now there is a need for me at this point in life to come near the Lord. What prepared him to come to this position? What stimulated him to decide in this line? If you see the earlier description of about Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira in this first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, this episode is continuing after departure of Bhishmadev, right? He became the king of Hastinapur, and then he started ruling the subjects. And at a point when he found there is influence of Kali spreading, then he is going to retire. So, and the Acharyas are saying that personal reason was he wanted to come near the Lord. And I asked the question, what made him to decide now this is the time to kind of, relinquish everything and come near the Lord? How did that thought process developed in Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira? So if you see the description of this section about Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira, Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira, after Kurukshetra battle, he was deeply morose. And he came, nobody could even console him, including Krishna. We know this. And then finally, Krishna told, okay, Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira, my dear brother, let's go to Bhishmadev. He is still alive. Yudhiṣṭhira said, oh yeah, he is one of the Mahajan, so I may go to him. Then Krishna brought him to Yudhiṣṭhira Maharaj. Krishna brought Yudhiṣṭhira Maharaj to Bhishmadev. And after getting instruction from Bhishmadev and from Ajita, from Krishna himself also, what happened? It is said, pravritta vijnana vidhuta vibhramaha. The conditioned souls are always entangled in this Kali Yuga. But how can they free themselves from such entanglements and think that, oh, this is the time for me to come near the Lord? That's why it is said that when nisamna bhismukto mathachyutaktam, after hearing from Bhishmadev and Achyuta, pravritta vijnana vidhuta vibhrama. Pravritta vijnana. Vijnana here refers to the perfect knowledge. The dawning of perfect knowledge took place in Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira. Therefore, vidhuta vibhrama. What is that vidhuta vibhrama? Even though Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira became the king of the entire world and he was taking the decisions, he was administering the subjects, he never considered himself as the doer. And he perfectly knew that this Prithvi, this world, is working under Krishna's hand. No swatantra. This is not independent. So he had this perfect conception, and then whatever duty he was doing, it was not an authoritarian principles he was following. What he was doing? He was following the dictations of Bhishmadev and Krishna. This is how you can see, this was his whole life preparation, that because he was in the good association, satsangan mukta dussanga. So the dussanga, the bad association, will automatically go away when we are in good association. Here, because Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira, he could spend good amount of time at the hour of need with Bhishmadev, listening to Bhishmadev's instructions and Krishna's guidance he took, as a result of which he became completely freed from all types of bhrama, illusions. And he understood he is there to establish the will of the Lord. Means he was not doing something which is satisfying his own personal whims. Just like our present administrators in the world, different so many politicians, they have manufactured their own ideologies, right? If you go to one country, you find that country is being ruled under particular ideology. Go to another country, there is different ideology. Another country, different ideology. Therefore, you can see somebody who was practicing lawyer in US, when he comes to India, now he has to read the whole thing. Ideology is different. Maybe he is going to UK, lot of changes are there, right? Those who are into this profession, they can understand it very well. Where the ideology is coming from? Why you need ideologies? Because to rule the kingdom. Why this creation is for? The creation is there to facilitate our journey back home, back to Godhead. Then the administrative ideologies have to be formulated in the way which will facilitate this cause of the living beings to go back home, back to Godhead. Now, because the leaders of the world are not Krishna conscious, therefore they have manufactured their own ideologies satisfying their own whims. Therefore, till their last breath, they are trying to hang on to their position, how I can exploit the resources under me, which is creating chaos in the world. People have failed to understand this. Therefore, Prabhupada was very emphatic into bringing up this Krishna consciousness movement to one and all around the world, because he knew perfectly well that if certain percentage of this world can follow Krishna conscious principles, that will bring prosperity and peace in this world. Why we are saying this? If you see, in the modern world, there are so many big leaders who are striving very hard to satisfy their own created necessities and making so many plans, establishing factories, opening up very big organizations. What is this? All are useless endeavors. Still, world is running to the hell. Who can see this? A true devotee of the Lord, like Prabhupada, he can see it. And he has very clearly given the caution to us that now you should understand what you should do. And you see, what is the benefit of having the ideologies which are given to us by the acharyas and Lord Krishna himself? Automatically the corruptions are eradicated. How is that? Wherever you go, nowadays in the world, so many leaders are talking about, one state world. They want to make whole world one state. Isn't it, foolishness to think to create one state world with your own petty ideology? You follow Krishna's ideology. Yes, there was only one state. At the time of Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira, whole world was one state. How was it possible? Because he followed perfectly the ideologies which are given by Krishna, Maharaj with Bhishmadev. So, and as I said, it will reduce the corruption. Automatically, one who is following the dictations of Krishna as a leader, I would say, he has to pay a lot of tax. Means he has to lead a very, very austere life. There will be a lot of hurdles coming at every step in his life, and he has to face all those hurdles. And then at one point, because he is following just Krishna's dictations, the vairagya, the renunciation, will automatically be aroused in him, and he will decide, now enough, now let me go to Lord. And Lord will also say, goodbye, nice my dear son, you have done so much for me to help these people to come near me, now you are ready to come to me, okay, my hands are open for you, come. Lord will, with two hands, he will open his lap, and he will invite such a leader to come and sit on his lap. This leader will never become a threat. He will never be a corrupt person. He will never become a selfish person. Therefore, there is no threat, there is no havoc created by such a leader. Prabhupada commenting about this Yudhiṣṭhira Maharaj, he says, a bad king can spoil the entire country. A bad husband will spoil the house. Similarly, a bad leader, whichever place he is leading, he will spoil that situation. If he is following his own whims, his own ideologies. That's why Prabhupada, he established this in ISKCON organization, International Society for Krishna Consciousness, to follow Krishna's ideology. And while following, if the leaders they follow, the leaders can have good bondage among themselves, and they can come together, they can discuss about the challenges they might be facing, and in that way, the peripheral challenges faced by different leaders will not be very painful to the leaders. On the other hand, if the leaders, they feel, no, we should have our own ideology, like different countries they have now, and then what is happening? There is war, disturbance, right? People are not happy. Hare Krishna Maharaj. Can you give one chair to Maharaj? So the influence of Kali is already there, and as you can see in the first line to the purport, Srila Prabhupada, he says, the present age is influenced by the specific qualities of Kali. When we are under the influence of the qualities of Kali, we can't escape just by our own endeavor. It's very difficult. It is going to continue spreading its influence. Therefore, our duty is to just follow Krishna conscious principles perfectly. And then that is how we should prepare ourselves. How one will become serious about following Krishna conscious principles? If we can study a few points from this verse, which is speaking about the qualities of the Kali. For example, anṛta. Anṛta means bhak-dosha. Bhak-dosha means, you can see very well in the behavior of the people in the world today. While talking to each other, they use bad words. Lot of harsh exchange take place between people in the world. This is influence of Kali. This is anṛta, bhak-dosham, lobha, vishaya lobheapi trishnādhikyam. Vishaya labheapi trishnādhikyam. That means, out of greediness, people, they want to acquire material objects. Having attained or having gotten the material objects, still they are thirsty for more. Right? Because they feel they can enjoy till the last breath. Not only I want to enjoy, I want to ensure that my son is secured. Or not only that, who knows what will happen in the world situation after a few years. Maybe I should earn enough to secure my grandchild's life. Well, everything else seems good. Okay, why not just earn for next 14 generations will sit and eat. Yes, people have planned like this in the world today, and they are working like donkey, as Prabhupada said, to secure their 14 generations, next 14 generations. These mudhas, they don't understand that you spend all your time in earning this money and saving in the bank, then you are thinking your next 14 generations going to use it, and what are they going to do? If they take this money and use it in bad cause, they can commit sinful activities through this money, then you rascal going to go to suffer in the hell for uncountable number of years. Because you have provided the facility for them to commit sin. This principle is applicable to everyone. In the name of practicing devotee also, if you try to commit sin, then Krishna will punish. If you misuse his wealth, he will punish. Even a non-devotee who is doing this misuse, still Krishna is going to punish, because this world belongs to Krishna. This is not your father's property. First of all, you try to understand. Nothing belongs to you. You are just a caretaker. You have been given some opportunity by Krishna. Maybe you have not become devotee, all right, we don't mind. Maybe one day you will become devotee. Never try to exploit this world. This is not your father's property. This is Krishna's property. Krishna is the owner of everything. He says, Aham sarvasya prabhava. He is the owner. So when he is owner and you are kind of unnecessarily trying to take it for granted, then you have to pay for the price. Right? And then another point is saying this lobha means sarva dosanam ashraya. Actually, one who is greedy, all other bad qualities are associated with him. Means all bad qualities will take shelter under this lobha, covetousness. Therefore, a true devotee of the Lord, he tries to follow the Krishna conscious principles correctly and fully depend on the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Whatever challenges come to him in his life, he just tolerates and simply dedicates his life in serving Krishna. Then by the will of the Lord, he will one day see the dawn where all these bad things are disappearing and he is able to fix his mind unto the lotus feet of the Lord. He is getting his way back home, back to Godhead. At the same time, whole world is there to take lesson from him. Just like here Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira, he is living now. Prabhupada is saying that in the last part of the purport, he has mentioned, let me read it out again. Being an ideal king, Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira wanted to retire just to set an example for others. As soon as there is some young fellow to look after household affairs, one should at once retire from family life to uplift oneself to spiritual realization. Same principle is applicable to the leaders also. Either you are a leader at your home or you are a leader for an organization, for a country, for a state. You are a leader. Then what do you have to do? Prabhupada is saying he has to retire. And when he retires, as soon as, how? In family life, when a man is going to enter into vanaprastha or sannyasa ashram, when he finds there is his young son who is able to take care of the family. And when there is a able son, the father pass on the family responsibility unto the son, then he is heading towards renounced order of life. Similarly, Prabhupada is saying, let the leader of the world make room for the young generations. That means somebody who is in the leadership position, they don't have to actually hang on to the position until last breath. That is not actually conducive. They should make room for the younger generations. Some people say, Prabhu, they are new, they will spoil everything. How can you entrust? What territory you have built? Everything going to go spoiled. Oh, as if now you are in the place of Krishna, you have to protect everything, and one day you are going to die or not? Ask this question to this fellow. Are you going to die one day? Yes, you are going to die one day. What is going to happen after that? Tell me. Do you think until you are alive, you are going to set aright everything in this world? Impossible. Baseless thinking. You as a leader act by setting example. People will follow, and after you leave your body, your activity will still keep on guiding people. Not that you are thinking, as long as you are alive, you can give directions, you can set right in the world situation. No, this is not correct leadership. A leader teaches by example, not by words. A leader speaks less. He will speak one sentence, the message will go through. If he is a gentleman, he will change himself. If he does not, there is no harm to the leader. He knows what he has to do, and he is continuing. So here Prabhupada is saying, they should make room for the young generations. Train them, teach them, help them, guide them. Okay, they will commit mistake once, twice. Even Prabhupada says, even if 3 times, doesn't matter. Even Krishna, he kind of accepts the mistakes. He says, once, twice, 3rd time, Krishna will kind of punish you. Sometimes he tolerates also. Then why don't you give them opportunity? Even if they commit some mistake, nothing going to fall apart. Anyway, if you are so experienced, you are thinking, then why don't you support them and train them, learn how to manage the entire show when you are not there even. So therefore, he wanted to teach this principle to us as a true leader, how to lead the world. And when the time comes to retire from our life, and how to generate or how to have the intuition to come near the Lord. These are the points we discussed today from the life of Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira. Another example also I was thinking, just like say Rupa and Sanatan, Dabir Khas and Sakar Malik, they were very much dear to Nawab Hussain Shah, and they had all opulence with them. When they just got the audience of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when Mahaprabhu was visiting Malda, you can see that was the turning point, right? That's what I made this point, that even for Yudhiṣṭhira Maharaj also, he got the association of Bhishmadev, listened to Krishna, that's it. That was the turning point. Rupa and Sanatan, they were Prime Minister, Finance Minister. What facility they did not have? Everything, whatever is necessary, right? Just by getting the audience of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, okay, now that's enough. And of course, we can see from the life of Rupa and Sanatan, they were perfect devotee of the Lord. They are very clever. Even though they were working under Mohammedan government, but they knew, they had the intelligence to know what is right and what is wrong, and when to take the decision. So therefore, in Krishna consciousness, we have to pray to the Lord, to the Vaishnavas, to give us the enlightenment, intelligence, so that we can continue to serve with the right spirit, and at the end, we can find the time to take complete shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, to go back home, back to Godhead. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. जगद्गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की समवेत भक्त